Stroke is the #1 cause of disability, and anyone can have one at any age.
It's important to remember. Amanda DeVoe is joining us now. And Amanda, you spoke with a father and son who both had a stroke within, what, 2 years of each other?
Yeah,
Wow.
a very sobering experience for both of them. Well, Jeff and Larry Kreitzer say it's a club no one wants to join. They spoke with me along with one of their doctors so people know the signs and how life can change without a moment's notice. Larry Kreitzer says it all started with an unbearable headache while he was at work in January 2020.
I was trying to compose an email and I couldn't. I literally couldn't put a sentence together when I was trying to type the email. And right then I knew something was off. And then my coworker said, "You got to get out of here. There's something going on with you."
Little did he know he was having a stroke.
So I drove myself to the urgent care. My wife met me there and they said, "Your blood pressure's high. We think you're having a stroke. You need to go to the emergency room right away."
A type 2 diabetic who stayed on top of his health for the most part, Jeff was shocked to be in this situation at just 43 years old.
I would have never thought it was a stroke, being so young, and I was in relatively good shape. But, come to find out it was a stroke and scared me to death.
Fast forward nearly 2 years later, Jeff's parents were starting their mourning. Jeff's mother noticed something was off with his father, Larry, after asking him a question.
She come back in and she said, "If you don't answer me, I'm going to call 911." And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "I am answering you. What's wrong with you, And she's like, "I'm calling 911." And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "You're garbling your words." And I'm like, "I'm not garbling my words. I'm thinking all this," but that's what I was doing.
Turns out Larry, who's also a type 2 diabetic and has some heart issues, was having a stroke too.
I can remember the young lady, a paramedic, she told the driver, she said, "Turn on the lights and siren, we got to go." And sorry.
Dr. Nima Abraham treated Larry and says family history is one of several risk factors when it comes to strokes.
When Larry had a stroke, thanks to his son, he and his wife recognized the signs and symptoms, so they called 911.
But he stresses that strokes don't discriminate.
A stroke happens all of a sudden, and it can happen to anyone. Every minute that passes, for example, 2 million neurons die. So when a stroke happens, we don't have the luxury of time. The important thing is for it to be recognized, and then 911 should be called because they can recognize and triage the patient.
Both father and son say they're pretty much back to their old selves, but want people to know the signs and that time is of the essence.
It kind of changes your life, and when you talk to other people about things, because you got to know, you don't know. We always hear, "Hey, we'll do this tomorrow, we'll do this next week." You may not have tomorrow, and you may not have next week.
Thank God that I'm here today, that he's here today, and we're doing good.
And doctors at Baptist Health use the acronym BFAST to help people know the signs of a stroke. So B means to check to see if someone has lost their balance, has some dizziness or nausea. E, if eyesight changes in one or both eyes. F, if the face droops on one side, a lot of people notice that one. A for arm or leg weakness or numbness. And S, if you see slurred speech. T for time, that means time is brain. That's what doctors like to say a lot. So that means call 911 immediately. There are time-sensitive treatment options to reverse some symptoms of stroke. The Kreitzers know there's a chance of having another stroke, so they make sure to check in with their doctors, manage their diabetes, always exercise, and of course, they watch their diets as well.